this year. I really came out there with like no agenda. Like I was just like, I'm just do whatever like I need to play, whether that's playing defense, rebound. I'm a good defender, so I'm like, I'll just do whatever. But as time went on, I got more comfortable.
Good morning and happy Footy Friday one final time for spring 2025. My name is Zach Durham. I'm here with Diego, Desi, and JD. Welcome to Footy Fridays, your favorite show on the 22 West Sports Block. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
Great week of footy this last week.
We were blessed.
Epic
Absolutely
action, man.
insane.
I think I watched too much football this week.
That
It's
can
not
never
bad-
be the
it's not a
case.
bad
That
thing.
can never be the case.
I'm
There's
tired
never
this
too much
morning.
footy, man.
I got Lamine Yamal highlights just running through the brain right
Oh my
now.
gosh.
I don't blame you.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot to talk about. I think we're right where we should start. I think football fans were blessed with arguably the greatest, not just semifinal, just greatest Champions League tie, leg 1, leg 2 in the history of the Champions League between Inter and Barcelona. I mean, where does that rank against? Can you name another matchup that lived up to the billing as much as that?
I don't know, actually.
I think given the drama at the end, I don't think there's a better one.
I don't.
I don't think there's a better one.
There's not a better one that I've seen,
Seen live.
that I've seen and experienced over two legs.
Mm.
Over 120 minutes in that second leg was just insane.
I mean, but it seems like Barcelona are involved in all the ones that I can remember. This wasn't as much of a comeback. It was more of just like a back and forth tug of war battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like the two instances I'm thinking of are PSG Barcelona, La Remontada, and what year was that?
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
They were down like what 5-1 after the first leg, came back
Mhm.
and won.
Yeah.
But that was a comeback. That wasn't as much of like a tug of war match.
Right.
And then the same thing goes with Barcelona versus Roma.
Mm.
In I think that was like a year or two after. Costas Manolas
Mhm.
with that header.
I remember.
That was also a comeback. So a little different, but like those two matchups certainly lived up to the hype. Now on paper, I don't think we expected fireworks like we did with this matchup. So
I mean, they did come back from 2 goals. They were down 2 goals going into the second half. Didn't score until the 54th minute, Barcelona. So they came back a little bit. They were under some pressure from Inter, surprisingly, so that they scored 2 goals before half.
Yeah, and I know we talked about it on the show last week when we got to like the 93rd minute and they're showing like Lautaro on the bench and stuff. I'm going, this is what we were talking about last week. Like, who's able to be on the pitch for Inter when they really, really need it? And they didn't need their big stars. Like, they didn't need everybody who's already a superstar to show up. Like, their whole team showed up for this game. And, like, especially in those super, super late dying moments. Like, I loved it. I loved it from start to finish because both teams were playing to win. And both teams were playing with no regard for their own safety. And you don't get that anymore. So many teams play for draws, or you have Arteta ball, which was not too fun to watch against PSG.
woo.
But
Sorry.
you compare the two games, and they're completely different. They're completely different. The tactical side versus give the ball to your winger and let him go to work. Like, you don't see it anymore.
There was a lot of freedom
Yeah.
in that
so
game.
much freedom.
Does that come down to the bosses tactically, or do you just think it's like let me rephrase that. Does it come down to that specific game, or is it like, well, what did you expect? This is our team. This is our manager. These have been our tactics. Or is it more of a situational, this is like a big game?
I feel like it's definitely situational, but it's also just their style of play. I feel like Barcelona never take their foot off the gas, and it kind of showed in this game coming back 2 goals. But it's also a huge matchup, tied 3-3 on aggregate going into the second leg. I mean, neither team can really sit back at that point because your season's on the line, and both of these teams did not sit back, scoring 7 goals in that game.
Well, tactically, too, like, it's a perfect storm of Barcelona's high line versus Inter's not only defensive intensity, but willingness to try to make 30-yard runs every 5 seconds. Like, Denzel Dumfries was running for his life back there against the back line. So you have this situation where these two teams are kind of matched up so perfectly where it forces the game to be stretched and it forces individual brilliance out of certain players.
Yeah, it was like one thing was going to have to give, whether it was Inter's lock-solid defense or Barcelona's, I mean, I guess just their capability of letting goals in. I mean, we've seen them run their high line all season, and it's worked. They've been able to pick out their opponents and force them to go off sides. They didn't really do that against Inter. Inter were smart when they timed their runs. I saw a tweet or an Instagram post about how Inzaghi, the boss for Inter Milan, the only signing that they made since their last, the only major signing that they've made since their last Champions League final when they lost to Man City, they signed Jan Sommer for like $5 million because he's like 30-something years old. Like, that's it. Like, this is an Inter team that has relied on their core group of players for the last few years, and like they're back. Like, this is pretty much the same team that played in the Champions League final. You just swap out Sommer for Onana.
And
Which I'll get to Onana in a minute. I got a bone to pick with Footy Fridays. Morning Footy, and their choosing of Onana over Vicario for the Europa League final, but we'll get to that in a minute. But that just goes to show how Inter Milan, like, they're a team. Those guys have been together for a long time.
Yeah.
And it showed. Inzaghi cooked.
He did. I love that he was also out in the rain in his full suit. You see those pictures after the game where it's like, no umbrella.
Yeah.
He's just out there screaming and yelling.
It's his life, man.
He's
full of passion.
He lives for that. It's amazing.
Also, it's worth to note that his brother just got his team Prisa promoted. I don't know if it's from City SC or to City SC, but literally in the same week, those two brothers.
Oh, Pisa FC, right?
Pisa.
They're going
Pisa.
to Serie A.
Yeah.
And their stadium's like 100 kilometers away, not kilometers, 100 feet or so away from the tower.
Yeah, Pisa is a surprisingly small city.
Well, like in the tweet said, the success is in the bloodline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it as small as Bodo?
No, it's definitely bigger. Definitely
I
bigger.
think a lot compares to Bodo. Bodo's pretty.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Pretty
Let's wrap
miniature.
up the other Champions League game. Arsenal versus PSG. You kind of said it. It was just kind of meh. I watched the second leg.
Love that.
I was at a deli when they had the game on. I was at lunch. And there's this Arsenal fan sitting next to me. And he was, like, very cool about it. Like, they were obviously, there was, like, 5 minutes left. They were going to lose. And he was still, like, harping on an Arsenal player for, like, not making a run or having a bad touch. Like, he was harping on his guys through those final minutes, through the whistle. But, yeah, obviously PSG are through. It just, you said it back in January. They never signed a striker. They never signed depth, and it's going to hurt them. Is that kind of what happened here?
I mean, not just that, but I think it's just a matter of, like, the fact that PSG outsmarted Arsenal again. It's just, it looks like this team was just not fighting for it, and it's very disappointing. And I think what frustrates not just me, but I think the rest of the fan base as well, is the excuses that Arteta is using right now. Like, you can tell he's run out of excuses at this point, kind of making a fool out of himself. And, I mean, I was asking this question like 2 months ago. I'll ask it again. Is Mikel Arteta really going to be a Premier League winning manager? Because from right now, from what I'm seeing, especially in this season, it's not the case. We're now going 5 years with 0 trophies at all. And keeping in mind, this is the 5th year with Mikel Arteta. So, yeah, this season was a total bust. It really is. The Champions League was everything that we had left. Liverpool already had the league to themselves, like, literally a month ago. We were never going to catch up with them. So, I mean, I didn't even bother seeing the game, to be honest with you guys. I wasn't at home. I didn't bother watching the highlights because I just didn't want to watch it.
He was checked out.
Yeah.
I enjoyed every minute
Of course.
of that matchup. Also want to shout out Fabian Ruiz. Hell of a strike. I think that was their first goal. Yeah, first goal in 27 minutes. I just think they played so much better than Arsenal did in both of these legs, and they deserve to go through.
And the fact that Arteta said that Arsenal was a better team.
Well, they weren't like. I get what he was saying. Like, there were parts of each game where there were pockets of throughout those 90 minutes in leg 1 and 2 where they were the better team. Like, they just didn't put the goals in the back of the net to showcase that. And like in that second leg, Raya stopped that penalty. If Arsenal could have turned that used that and kind of gotten a goal and kind of get the crowd and the players back into it, like, they just didn't have that moment where they put one in the back of the net and kind of like, oh wait, we're still in this. We can, you know what I mean? Like, that's really all they needed. But I get what Arteta was saying. Like, it wasn't like PSG just went out and dominated the game. They didn't. Like, they had their moments. Arsenal had their moments. It's just PSG was able to put 3 in the back of the net across those 2 legs.
2 legs, yeah.
So, I mean, that's the difference. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter how flashy you play. You got to score goals.
But the thing is, by the time that PSG scored that second goal in the second leg, I knew it was over. there was no way Arsenal was going to come back from a 3-0 aggregate score. So that's the thing.
It is what it is. Well, back to what you were saying about Arsenal and just calling it a lost season. I feel like, I mean, this is coming from a very outsider's perspective, considering I'm a Spurs fan, but I feel like Arsenal just need to focus on like one competition per season. I feel like they get too caught up with like, oh, we're in a Premier League title race. Oh, we're also in the round of 16 for the Champions League. Like, we can win both, but they don't really know how to prioritize anything. And then it's like, oh, we're in the FA Cup and we're playing Crawley Town, you know. That's a shoe into the semifinal. It's like they just need to prioritize their fixtures, I think, a little bit and not try to be overly ambitious. Because let's be real, every team wants to win as many trophies as they can. When you're playing FIFA, you go for a quadruple every single season. But in the real life, it doesn't work like that. So I think Arsenal, to get back on track, if you're talking about Arteta and whether or not he's a future piece at Arsenal and the direction that they're going in, I think he just needs to get that one trophy, whether it's an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup. So I think they can win the Premier League. It just has to be a perfect storm of a season where maybe like this season City struggled. Maybe it takes a season where Liverpool is struggling and you're not too invested in the Champions League or other competitions where you can make that run for the Premier League. That's just my intake. I just feel like they need to focus on one competition.
That's a good point.
I agree with that.
The thing is, though, we're talking about a manager this is his first club as a main manager. Like, he doesn't have that much experience. So he has to learn how to do that, to have that mentality. And that's the problem. I mean, if we had a different manager who already had experience, he would know how to set up those priorities. But this guy, this is still his first club. He is still yet to learn that, yet to develop that. So that's the thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate Arteta for turning this club around. I mean, really bringing it out of his dark era after Wenger left. But again, I just have to ask myself that question: will he really turn out to be Premier League winning manager? Because as of right now, he has not proven that yet.
I'm glad you mentioned Arsene Wenger because that's a perfect segue into my next segment, where he said that the winner of the Europa League does not deserve to go to the Champions League. I want you guys to take on that.
100%
I want to start with JD.
100%
Whoa.
agree. 100% agree.
But it's a no-brainer.
Football lost on Thursday for the most part. Like, you can't sit here and say, oh, yeah, the 13th and 17th best Premier League teams deserve to go to the Champions League. Yes, they won, and they've been outstanding in Europe. And Tottenham have struggled so much but have pulled out these results in Europe. Great. Manchester United are the best team in the Europa League by far. Great. But I don't like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't sit right with my spirit.
This is where football doesn't make sense. We're talking about a club who, for a brief moment, was fighting relegation. And you're telling
Which
me
one?
telling me that they're on the brink of playing in the Champions League next season? That makes no sense at all.
But you know what's funny? It's Spurs.
It's the history of Tottenham.
It's Tottenham.
Where is this?
That's what doesn't make
It
sense.
shouldn't be surprising that
I
this
need
is
to
the,
find
this is
this
the worst
quote
season they've
from
had in a
here.
long
It's
time.
a
over here.
bruise to the game. That's what it is.
It is. I was hoping that more so Atletico, because I knew they weren't going to pull something off. But Bodo was really like my underdog to root for. And I love underdogs. I can't. I'm not going to watch the Europa League final.
Me neither.
I have no interest in it now. There's no winners for me. Last year it was Bayer Leverkusen and Atalanta. That was a great Europa League final. Adamada Lukman with the hat trick. Like,
True.
I was
very
invested
true.
in that game because there were storylines on both
Yeah.
sides. This is just, even if Tottenham win the Europa League or even if United win the Europa League, none of you are going to be happy. Like, you guys aren't even going to celebrate this because
Hey,
I think
Well,
some
Spurs
people.
will,
I think some
obviously,
people will be
but-
happy.
I think Spurs fans will definitely rejoice after ending a 17-year trophy drought,
Well, yeah,
trophyless drought.
exactly.
And
I
then
think
next-
Spurs definitely need this more. I was talking about Morning Footy. They were on this whole tangent about how Man United need this more, and it's all about Ruben Amorim and the future of Man United. Blah, blah, blah. It's a brand, all right? They don't deserve it more than Tottenham, all right? Tottenham
Like,
need this, okay?
if all else
Manchester United,
fails-
they're like, we haven't felt like it's no. They were so.
No.
They were just covered in red their entire show, and I had a bone to pick with them. They didn't even give Tottenham a chance. Tottenham needs this, okay?
My emphasis
Coming
is going
from
to
a
be
Spurs
next
fan.
year. Well, in a second, Diego. In a second. Next year, it's going to be back to the same whining and complaining as soon as times get tough. So
But that's always how it goes.
I would have loved to see Bodo make a final or Atletico
Oh, I
make
would
the
too.
final, where you have
Me too.
It would have been cool.
people who have never been there and have never tasted that success get a shot because they worked so hard and so long to get there. I can't get excited for this Europa League.
Well,
final.
a good point that was made was that the new competition doesn't allow for teams to go from the Champions League down to the Europa League. And they were saying, like, is that why we're seeing 2 Premier League teams in the Europa League final? Because, I mean, who were those teams that got dropped out of the Champions League that would have gone to the Europa League given the old format?
I think
Like-
Leipzig, right?
Leipzig,
Yeah.
Bologna.
Some solid teams.
Let me pull it up.
Dortmund probably would have been there too.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean,
What was your take, Diego? What were you gonna say?
I mean, well, I already said what I was going to say. Coming from a Spurs fan, kind of a biased take. What do you think? But I mean, look, I said this in the last episode. I'll say it again. This final is truly a nightmare for Arsenal fans. I mean, if things couldn't get any worse, now we got Spurs versus United in the final, and either way, it's a lose-lose scenario for Arsenal fans. I myself have no other choice but to beg United to win. Because I cannot afford to see Spurs win this. No, I'm being dead serious, okay? Like, no joking around. I cannot afford to see Spurs win this because we will never hear the end of it of how they won a European competition before we have.
That is right.
So I'm going to be praying all weekend that United wins the freaking final. I prefer to be laughed about the fact that Ruben Amorim has won a European competition with United before Mikel Arteta with Arsenal than Spurs fans yelling for the rest of our lives that they won a European competition before we have. I cannot afford to see Spurs
It
win
would be
this.
warranted, though, with the performances that Arsenal have put up recently.
Yeah. Let's not forget this is Eric Ten Hag's United, not Ruben Amorim's United. So
It doesn't matter, though.
True.
It's still in his credit.
if these
It's still
players
be
get
in his
it done,
name.
that would be a testament of how good Amorim is a manager.
Yeah.
If he can just come in and struggle in the league right off the bat, but be like, you know what, I can steer this bus in a straight line, and that line's going down to Bilbao. Like, I mean,
it would have been a home final for Bilbao too. Like that would have been so cool.
That would have been
Yeah.
really cool.
I was
Yeah.
seeing that game. Great first strike from Bilbao, though. That was a freaking amazing finish. Great golazo, but unfortunately, they just fell apart.
Yeah, they fell
well,
apart.
they had that red card in the first leg. They had a penalty in the first leg that put them down 3-0. And then I think in leg 2, they were down both of the Williams brothers
Yeah.
and another forward.
They've
Like their
been
front three was out.
Yeah.
They didn't play. So it's hard to come back down 3 goals when your front three is not on the field.
And they're fighting for the Champions League and European places in La Liga too. So
Mhm.
I think they took their foot off the gas and said we're not winning this game.
Very unfortunate. I mean, losing 7-1 in aggregate, like, ouch. Defensive-wise, they just completely fell apart.
Yeah.
United had a complete laugh in that game. And, I mean, it's Old Trafford, too, so with even more disadvantage that this athletic club had, too.
I mean, aside from biases and everything, is it going to be a good game? Will it be a fun game to watch?
I hope it's not a repeat of the Champions League 2019
Yeah.
Spurs versus Liverpool, which that could have been such a great game
Mm.
if it weren't for that handball in the first minute of the game.
Mm.
Hit his shoulder. Like, that was not a handball. Shoulder, like, you get away with the shoulder every
Mhm.
any day of the week in soccer.
Yeah.
And then in that one moment, they're like, nah, it's a handball. Ruined the game. It ruined the game.
No.
But I was thinking about that. Of course, Tottenham's first European final since losing to Liverpool in the Champions League is against another red Premier League team. So,
They got to pull out all the stops.
no James Madison.
Out
for the season.
No Madison.
That's going to be tough. 'cause
Sonny might be back.
Sonny might be back.
Potentially.
He's going to play. I mean, think about it. It's so funny. It's the same thing 6 years ago. Harry Kane was hurt.
Mm.
He comes back. He starts in the final even though he's banged up, and Lucas Moura's in form.
Yeah.
Like, what if Son starts over
Brennan
Kulusevski
Johnson?
or Brennan
Or-
Johnson?
oh.
And Brennan Johnson's been up and down, but at the end of the day, he's scored 15-something goals this season.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be interesting
Mm.
what lineup Tottenham put out, because I think the key to keeping up with the playmaking ability that Man United has with Bruno Fernandes, James Madison was your counter to that.
Oh, yeah.
And now you don't have that counterattack. So now you got to change what you do tactically. I think Ange is going to go for a much more not balanced. Sit back, be smart, be patient. When you have the ball, that's when we're going to go. But we're not going to go overly pressing like we normally do, because Ange is he plays that high line. They want to press. I think in this game, especially without Son and Madison, if they're not both playing that game, like, they're going to sit back, which might hurt them.
Now, here's a question that I have for you. And as a matter of fact, we've already asked this question. You already gave us our opinions a few times now, but I'll say this one last time. If Spurs lose this final, is this the final straw for Ange?
See,
I've toyed with this for a while.
He sat and pondered with this for a while.
I've thought about it genuinely because they've made it to the final. But if they lose the final, what does that mean for the rest of the team, for the season, for the manager? I honestly have no idea. Like, if they fire him because they lose the final, would anybody be upset about that?
I mean, that's Spurs for you.
That's what I was going
I
to say.
always talk about how they fired Mourinho 5 days before a cup final.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they're not going to fire him before the final.
No.
That'd be absurd. But
But if they lose,
I
and it's a
think-
bad showing, bad performance,
I think he has done enough. Remember a couple months ago I said we're going to find out whether or not these players really back Ange. And I think they have. I think he has proved that he has those players behind him.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Do the fans feel like that? I think it's split. Does the board feel like that? I don't think so. But I think the players' liking of him and their – at the end of the day, it's not their decision. Like, Daniel Levy has the keys, you know. But I feel like this past month, given how bad they've been in the Europa League – I mean, in the Premier League and getting to the Europa League final, I feel like – I'm not saying he's done enough to say, like, yeah, here's your new contract. But it's like, okay, I see the direction that you're taking this club, and we support you. And that's all you can ever do for a coach. He's only been there for 2 years.
Yeah. And he gets
2 years.
He gets his trophies in 2 years. Don't forget that.
It's going to be a lot. I know you guys aren't excited for this game, but there's a lot on the line.
A lot riding on
There's
this
a lot
game.
on the line.
A
for
lot
this
on
game.
There's a lot riding on it.
Well,
I just
It'll
would-
determine the next few years, I think, this game, depending
Absolutely.
on how Ange
I just wanted to read this quote
reacts.
from Ange. He said, Spurs does crazy. This is after Arsene Wenger said that they don't deserve to go to the Champions League if they win the Europa League. He said, Spurs does crazy things to people. You put this club into any sentence, and they all come out and try to diminish it any way they can. Is he right, or is he just paranoid Ange? Crabby old Ange.
Everybody hates me. Nobody wants to see me win.
cue the Hulk sad music.
I can't imagine being Ange Postecoglou. We should compare his hair now compared to where his hair was at the start of the season.
I was going to say,
So
you
he
know
has
what?
less hair right now?
I did see a picture.
Is it just more gray? Like, is he?
No, seriously, pull up
No,
like
he's
Ange.
lost weight.
Yeah.
He's lost a lot of weight.
He's
stressed,
lost
man.
weight. He's
That's
lost
what,
hair.
that's what managing Spurs can do to you, man. I mean, forget
No.
the gym, just manage Spurs.
What was their first win? What was their first big win? They beat Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
Ange versus Liverpool 2023. Because after that game, he's wearing like, I'm thinking of a specific picture. He's wearing like a navy blue polo with some khakis, and he's got a little pot belly on him, and he looked real happy. This guy.
Yeah.
That picture's not going to do it any justice.
No.
Here we go.
Yeah.
He had some. He had a
Yeah.
little belly on him, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He looks.
Ange versus Bodo, 2025.
Holy
He's
smokes.
Yeah,
slimmed
that's-
down a little bit.
That's wild.
He has slimmed down
That's
quite
wild.
a bit. Here, I'll turn the TV so Diego can see.
Wow, that is crazy.
I wish I could have him. I mean, I could, but
What a transformation.
like he's definitely lost like 10, 15 pounds.
Oh,
More
yeah.
than that.
More
More
than
than
that.
that.
More than
maybe
that.
like maybe 20 or 30.
He's lost weight. His hair is receding. Like
That is
it's only been
crazy.
2 years.
This is a good picture to show his hair.
Yeah. Oh.
The amount of stress that this.
I wonder
man
if there's
goes
like a
through
side by side
on a day-to-day basis.
transformation.
Before and after comparison.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Anime, not good. All right. Ange in
Postecoglou.
2023 versus 2025.
There we go.
Just card.
What is
Oh, the
this
first
one?
one.
Oh, the first one might
The
work.
first one might work. Yeah.
That's actually kind of a good. This is the post I saw initially. Men in Blazers.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see, you see it in his face, how he loses weight in his face.
Yeah.
But the hair,
Kind of still the same.
it's
I think
getting thinner. It's definitely getting thinner. I think you're onto something, JD.
Yeah.
You can see in here, it's nice and, it looks like a just for men ad.
Right.
This one, it's like, eesh.
It's a Bosley ad.
It's only gonna get worse
but
in
yeah,
the next few weeks.
as this point or this post makes a good point. For the last 3 seasons, Man United have failed to beat Tottenham. 1 draw and 4 defeats
Oh.
for Man United against Spurs. It's going to be a good game. I know you guys aren't looking forward to it. I'll say it again. There's a lot on the line for both of these clubs. You know who I'm rooting for. my prediction, I could see like a really high, like a 4-3, 3-2 game.
I don't think
I was
so.
gonna
It's 0-0 after 120 minutes, and they go to penalties.
This ain't gonna be a goal fest.
They're not
Believe
scoring.
us.
Nah,
against
I'm gonna
each
go
other.
3-2.
I was
Have you
gonna
seen United's defense is not anything I would feel happy about
Nope.
if I'm a fan.
Well, no, that's true. But their attack, on the other hand, they've been kind of flawless in Europa League right now.
Yeah.
I think it's 0-0 after 120 minutes,
Oh,
and then we
man.
go like a really weak penalty shootout, and Manchester United wins.
I say a 2-1 win for United,
guys
but
have no
no
faith.
one's scoring more than 3 goals in this game.
Yeah, I
You
know,
have
but
no
it's going
faith.
3
Ooh,
goals.
should we take a Footy
2 to
Fridays
1.
wager over 3 goals?
Oh, I'll take that easy.
Oh,
Over easy.
gosh.
Over, I'll take over
Easy
3
over.
goals.
for one team?
No, for the
No,
game.
for the total goal scores.
Under
I'm gonna go with under as well.
All right, it's settled.
and not scoring.
We're taking the
Tottenham
over.
boys are going over. And
Anti-Tottenham boys.
Anti-Tottenham boys going under 100%.
all right,
100%.
I see how it is. All right, well, let's quickly touch on the Conference League final. As Chelsea are taking on who won that?
Betis.
Betis.
They won in extra time.
Betis, yes.
Oh my goodness!
They
Can we
took it.
talk about Anthony real quick?
He has to win it, man.
I've been saying this. I've been on Anthony for months.
He just had to get out of Manchester.
That's all
Yes,
I think needs
sir.
to happen, guys.
Coincidence? I think not. I mean, I've said it so many times. United is
Just
a
leave-
career-killing club.
Leave United, everyone.
Yeah.
It would be
Mass
so nice to
exodus.
see. I mean, again, as a Spurs fan, having Chelsea lose a final and then us perhaps
Beating
winning a
United.
final, that would be cool.
Oh, boy.
I actually, I'm sure, I don't know if I told you this. I dislike Chelsea much more than I dislike Arsenal.
All right.
I hope you know that.
I
don't
didn't
know
know that before, but
Yeah, that's
okay.
a fun fact of the day.
Fair
Fun
enough.
fact of the day. Yeah, there's just something about Chelsea that just grinds my gears, man. Like,
I understand that.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the Battle of the Bridge. I think that's what it is. I think I just have a sour taste in my mouth from that almost 10 years. That was almost 10 years ago. That's crazy. That's insane. I got distracted. Okay, Conference League.
That free kick golazo from the go. Did you guys see that?
Yes. Yes.
Chef's kiss.
He's scoring for fun.
It's exactly what you would expect from the guy. He is just absolutely balling in Real Betis.
But he's also super influential to why they're just a good team now. It's not just that he stands over a free kick once in a blue moon, or he gets a tap in. Like, he plays really, really well over 90 minutes.
Ridiculous.
And these guys, they love him.
Yeah.
And he's happy, and he's been the change maker.
It's a perfect place for him, I think.
United
to
better
flourish.
United better not take away his happiness. That's all I'm saying.
Don't be like Jadon Sancho and go to Dortmund and ball out, and then be like, "Let me get back."
Yeah, no.
Don't
no.
do like. Where is Jadon Sancho now?
You know what's crazy is Anthony wasn't even the man of the match. It was Robin Gosens.
Yeah.
That's
At
messed up.
9.2.
One-
Anthony, 120 minutes played, 1 goal, 1 assist, 7 shots, 3 chances created, 6 for 7 on shots. One of them was blocked. His dribbling wasn't great. I mean, that's what I think of when I think of Anthony. I think of fidget spinner. But I did see that there was this one bit of play where he was on the sideline, like literally toes on the line, and pass comes to him, and he takes it off the chest, and then he's just juggling it on his head for a bit. And I'm like, okay, it kind of looked like he was showboating, but it was the most nonchalant, subtle, I'm playing a game, but like I'm trying to show some flair. You know,
Yeah.
it was the most. I've never seen him nonchalantly showboat the way he did, and I was like, all right, he's learning, he's developed.
He
Batiste
is.
is turning him into a proper footballer.
And we love to see it.
Shout out Isco, 33 years old.
He's been on a tear, too.
He's been killing it for Betis lately, man.
So, do you think they have a chance against Chelsea, or is
Oh,
it
yeah.
just going to be too much firepower?
I think they have a legit
Yeah, they have a
chance.
legit chance.
Got a lot of injuries.
I think Chelsea was. I mean, it's very possible they'll still win it, but it won't be easy. That's for sure. It will not be an easy game, at least for them.
They only won 1-0 at home against Djurgården.
Yeah, look at the stats.
But did they
it
play
was-
their
uh,
B team or their A team? That's the
doesn't look
thing.
Who played? Yeah, it's not even.
They've been playing their B team for like 2/3 of the
Who is
competition
George?
this season.
Tyreek George. Yeah, this is like their B or C team.
There we go.
In a
makes a lot of
semifinal in
sense.
the Conference League.
Well, they did. They were up 4-1
Yeah,
after the first
so
leg, so
they're-
that makes
they're
sense.
good.
But I was impressed by the away fans for Djurgården.
Mhm.
They came out. They took up a whole corner of Stamford Bridge.
Another
Nice.
Scandinavian team from Sweden.
That was good to see. The Swedes. So,
Good for them, man.
all right, we're gonna go down the line and we're gonna pick our 3 European winners. We're gonna start with Diego.
Okay, Conference League. I'm gonna go with Betis. Fingers
like
crossed for them. Europa League, no choice but to go with United. And Champions League, I'm going to give it to Inter.
Interesting.
So Inter Milan, Man United, and Betis.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Desi?
I'm taking Betis as well. I'm taking PSG to take over against Inter Milan. And who else do you think is going to win this game besides Tottenham? They're not. It's not going to be. No, they're not going to lose this game to Man United. If they, no, it's not going to happen.
Don't put it out there.
Can't even think about it.
Don't put it out there.
Think about it. They're
Well,
not going to lose.
You know what?
Tottenham win.
Never lost.
Well, you know what? If they don't, then I'm going to text you. Thank you for jinxing it.
There you go.
We'll see.
I'll take Betis in the Conference League, Inter in the Champions League, and Bane in the Europa League.
Bane.
Football wins. How about we just see? Could you imagine if there's a shootout where just like the first 5 nobody scores, everyone just skies it over the net? It's the never-ending match.
Oh, but,
All right.
It goes to like
United.
a 13th round in.
So you say United?
penalties.
United, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's something like that. I can't see this game going well. There's gonna be more memes than goals that come out of this game.
I have a prediction. Maguire will score in the second half.
Ooh.
Not bad, actually. Not
I'm
bad
calling
at
that
all.
right now.
Ooh. Okay.
He gets up.
He always shows up in these occasions
can
all
wager-
the time.
You can wager on that.
He's a ghost in the Premier League.
All right.
In every competition,
I
he
have
shows
a-
up.
Europa
I have a
League.
prediction, and it's probably going to happen hopefully later in the game, but Romero's getting a yellow card. Romero's getting a yellow
That's a
card.
pretty. That's a good pick.
That's
I
that's
mean,
like the easy. If I were in Vegas right now, that's the bet I'm placing right
That's
now.
your
Oh,
prop
yeah.
bet.
That's my prop bet. For Romero to receive a yellow
100%.
in the final.
100%.
Yeah. My 3 picks, I will also go with Betis. I will go with Tottenham, and I'm really torn on the Champions League. I think Inter has to be the pick, but it's been PSG's season, so I could see PSG taking it. I'm gonna go with Inter though.
All right.
So Inter, Spurs, and Betis. I like those
It's
picks.
gonna be a fun.
Okay.
It's gonna be a fun week.
Time to hop on over to some immaculate footy. I'm looking at the baseball one. Some good names on here. Ken Griffey Jr., Yasmani Grandal, JT Real Muto.
Connor Gillespie.
They got this
Wow.
side, the Giants. They had a Giants fan in here.
Yeah, that's.
They
insane.
had a Giants fan in here for sure. Impressive.
Wow.
All right. On to soccer. If it'll load. Come on.
We did pretty well last time, right?
We
What
did
did-
all
how
right.
many
We
did
got
we
like
get?
half of them. We got
Yeah.
stuck on Serie A.
That's right.
I remember.
We had Serie A throw us off.
Ooh.
All right. We have Bayern Munich.
Oh.
We have 10-plus league goals
This looks good. I
in
like
a
this.
season, and a player, someone who's played keeper for a
Oh,
minimum of
we-
1 game.
We got this. This is.
We
This
might
looks
actually
nice.
eat
This looks
this
nice.
up.
Okay.
Okay, and then the left side we have Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, and Aston Villa.
I would say let's.
We
try
got to start
get,
with Bayern, right?
Let's try to get sub 20%.
We got to start with the Bayern.
Yeah. Okay. Bayern Atletico.
I mean, I was going to go right off the bat and put like a James Rodriguez for
Ooh.
Bayern and Real Madrid, but I
Yeah.
feel like we can find someone more niche.
Find someone niche.
Did Rafael Guerrero play for Real Madrid?
I don't think he played for
He
Madrid.
did not play for Madrid.
Did Alaba play for Bayern?
Yes.
Alaba did play for
David
Bayern.
Alaba.
Good
Ooh.
shout.
Good pick there.
13%, I'll take that.
Nice.
That's a good
Bayern,
number. Yeah, if we
Aston
can go
Villa.
sub 20 on every one of our guesses.
Bayern, Aston Villa, Coutinho.
There you go. He's on
Ooh.
fire.
Nice. I like that. It's a good,
Good
pick.
pull.
It's a really good pull.
84%. He's popular. I don't care.
That's fine.
We're going for 100%.
Bayern
In-
Munich, Atletico Madrid.
10 league goals for Real Madrid. What is the name of that one Mexican
Joselu.
legend?
Joselu.
Joselu. That's another good
Joselu.
pull.
Or he's Spanish, right? That's the guy from a couple seasons ago.
Did he
Yeah,
score
he
10
Joselu.
That was, yeah, that was like last season.
He scored more than 10 league goals.
Are you sure?
Are
No,
we
he
sure?
did.
Are we sure?
He only started for them in La Liga. Yeah,
Nice.
2%. Give me that.
2%.
Let's
There you
go.
I like that one. Very, very nice.
10
All
league
right.
goals
10
for
league goals
Villa.
for Villa. Oh,
Oli Watkins.
Ollie Watkins.
Boom.
Easy. I remember when he was like still up and coming, and everyone was like, "Oh, Ollie Watkins is going to be the future,"
Yeah.
and he's lived up to
good.
it. Like he's
good.
been a very
Oh,
solid
yeah.
striker in the Premier League,
10
and he's
league
still young.
goals.
He's not even 25, I don't think.
Diego Costa?
Diego Costa. I don't think he played for Bayern.
No, from Madrid. 10
Oh.
league goals. Or you could do. You could do it with so many
Griezmann?
people. Griezmann.
Griezmann would be
Morata.
easy. Morata, you could probably do.
think
Has
he
he scored
scored 10. I
10?
think he
That's the
scored
thing. I
10.
feel like
Did,
Morata's that guy where he scores like 9 goals
Yeah.
every season.
Did Luis Suarez score more than 10 goals at
Oh,
his
I don't think so.
temporary play with
Yeah,
Atletico?
I think he
Who
scored
else
like
played for
14.
Griezmann
But it's got to be in a
has.
season.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all in one season. 10-goal season,
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
not just in the history.
Who are some all-time?
So you got to be
Madrid
like in
strikers.
form. It's tough.
Falcao. He played for Madrid, right?
Falcao's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
He could be popular, but we're gonna put him.
I think he scored 10 plus. He had some good seasons for
Absolutely.
Atletico.
Oh, you can also put Fernando Torres.
Okay.
That's good.
I just remember Fernando Torres. Falcao at 6% is very good. All right, let's get this top left one and then
Yeah.
go for the keepers.
Keepers will be.
I was gonna ask, did Diego Godin play at Bayern? I don't think so,
that's a
right?
good
I don't think he
pick.
did. That's a good one though.
No.
I like that one.
It's gonna have to be a midfielder. There's
Mhm.
gonna be some Spaniard that went from Atletico.
Did Douglas Costa play for? No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
It's tough. Those are like two big clubs, but you don't really associate them with each other.
They have different identities.
Completely different identities.
Let's see.
I mean,
Madrid.
I was about to say Lewandowski, but no. Not far off. Should we come back to that?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
come back.
All right, let's think of some keepers.
some niche keepers maybe.
Who is the third string keeper for Real Madrid? Lunin, right?
Lunin?
Yeah, Andre Lunin.
I don't want to put Lunin just because he's playing right now.
What does the small text say under?
It just says new. It says minimum one game.
Oh,
So
okay.
you
they've
so
been
like
keeper
Harry
for
Kane.
one
Harry
game.
Kane's played keeper for a game. He didn't start, but he got thrown in and he played keeper.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Maybe
that he would fit. Like you don't have to be a goalie to be in this slot. Like
Gotcha.
True.
You can put Olivier Giroud for like AC Milan. Right?
yeah.
Because he played. Yeah, he played.
Yeah.
That for a game.
Kyle
That's
Walker
true.
from Man City.
Yeah.
Well, there's obvious ones, but we're going for some niche.
We can name all three keepers.
Yeah, but we're going for a niche one.
Yeah. I don't want to just name Oblak, Courtois, and
I mean,
Martinez.
I don't think I know another Atleti keeper besides Jan Oblak.
I'm trying to think of
No,
who they
honestly, me
had
neither.
before him, before Oblak.
My bag
Who
doesn't
was
run
their
that
keeper?
deep.
or even their backup. Did they have
I
Gazaniga?
think Diego Lopez played for them. Oh yeah, actually you're right.
Did they have Gaz?
I think I want to say he was their backup at some point.
I
or
don't think he
something, but
came from Atletico. I think we bought him from La Liga when he was at Spurs, but he wasn't. I don't think we
Yeah.
bought him from Atletico.
For Real Madrid, do you guys want to go for someone retro?
Yeah, who was
Like Keylor Navas
Keylor Navas? Yeah, that's a
Ooh,
good
that's a
pick.
good
I was
one.
thinking,
Or Casillas.
or Casillas? Yeah.
yeah,
I like that one though. That's a good
Navas?
one. Navas. 14. That's it.
he looks young in that pick. It's an
Yeah.
old pick of him. He still got the. He doesn't have that gray hair yet.
Aston
silver
Villa
hair.
goalie.
Who the heck
Before
was there
Emi
before him?
Martinez.
I know. I'm
Martinez.
thinking like back in the Barclays days. Who was the keeper for Aston Villa? Where's Kaylee?
Yeah.
Kaylee's
True.
our.
Resident
stu-
Aston Villa fan.
yeah. Of course, I turn around and I don't think anybody's in the studio. All right, 3 to go. We still got all 3 guesses.
I mean, if there's no option left, then should we
Like-
just go with it?
Yeah, it just feels wrong.
It does feel wrong.
I'm still thinking on this Bayern and Atletico.
I mean, I would offer Luis Suarez, but he'd never play for Bayern, right?
No.
Right.
No.
Did Philip Lahm play for Atletico Madrid?
Ooh, no, I
No.
don't think,
I don't
he, did.
did.
That's a good pick though. I'm just thinking of like old time Bayern
James
players.
Rodriguez,
I don't think he played.
He
at
didn't
Bayern.
play for Atleti.
Oh yeah, Atleti, sorry.
Memphis Depay. Did he play for Bayern?
I think yeah.
Did he play for Bayern? No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did. It was. I'm thinking of Man United. He played for Man
I'm thinking
United.
of like Schweinsteiger.
I thought it was Depay. Dude, this is tough.
Mario Götze.
I wonder if they
Think of, like,
count
their work-
managers. Do you think managers count? Probably not.
No, I don't
It would
think
say manager.
so. Yeah,
Did Götze play in Atletico?
I don't think he did.
No.
No.
I'm just thinking of Germans now, but I don't know if a lot of Germans played on Atleti.
He's played keeper. Other than Emi Martinez for Aston Villa.
Another than Jan Oblak for Atleti. Like-
I'm blanking. There's 2 easy ones, but
I'm putting Oblak. Or we're more likely to find one for Aston Villa, I feel like. There's got to be like an English backup goalie that's
Mhm.
like been around the league. You know?
yeah.
Did Joe Hart ever play for
Joe
Aston
Hart.
Villa?
That's got to be it.
I don't know if he played for Villa though.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
he
don't
Was
know.
he
did.
only at
For
was he
Villa.
only at City?
I think he was.
He
Only
played at Spurs
Yeah.
for 1 season.
Well, think of like backup goalies in the league, like all-time backups. Fraser Forster,
Jack Butland.
Jack.
Was Nick Pope ever at Villa before he went to?
No, he was at
Wasn't he at Everton before?
no, he was at what's
Burnley.
it called? Burnley.
He's at Burnley, you're
That's
right.
right.
Before he went
Burnley.
to
We can go with. Did Raya ever start a game for Villa while he was there?
I don't know.
No clue.
Should we just put Martinez?
Oh, what's his name? He played for Everton too. Big guy. Begovic.
Begovic.
Did he play for Aston Villa? I'm just thinking of Premier League goalies at this point.
I was about to say Fabianski, but he's also West Ham.
Other claret and blue.
Hradecki?
Hmm.
No.
No.
Where did?
He's tough.
This is wild.
That Aston Villa.
Should we
man.
just get Martinez?
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
there?
let's just take Martinez. All right. Think real hard.
Last but not least.
We've got about 10 minutes to think of a. Emilio Martinez.
Boom.
Less than 10 minutes or so. We can come up with a Bayern Atletico guy. All right. Think.
I'm thinking midfielder.
I'm just thinking like iconic Bayern Munich teams. And I can't think. Oh my God, it's gonna have to be a winger or something. Winger or a fullback. I was gonna say Renan Lodi. He didn't play for
Thought about
Bayern.
that.
He didn't play for Bayern.
There's got to be a Brazilian. That's why I thought Douglas Costa.
Yeah,
Um,
this is tough.
Hmm.
Do we outsource for help or do we give up if we can't come to a conclusion? Do we call in like we're on
I
Who
would
Wants to Be a
say we
Millionaire?
just got to put a guess up there.
Yeah, we just got to throw something. Hope
I
it's
mean, we have
right.
3 guesses, right? Anyway.
No, we only have
that's
one
our
guess.
last
We have one guess
Oh,
left.
okay.
One guess for each.
When it does come up, and if we miss it, we're gonna shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, if you, it's a do or die.
It's a big player we probably know really well too.
How about Ozo?
I don't think he played at
Did he not play for either
Atletico.
one? No.
Played for Madrid.
He would have been a good one to
Real
put for
Madrid.
Alaba.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
He probably would have been more than 13% though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Did Hummels play Atletico?
No, I don't think he did. That's a good guess.
The
though.
Atletico is throwing me off because there's so many guys that have played in La Liga and Bayern Munich.
What about Boateng? In his like trips around the leagues, did he ever play for Madrid?
Oh, what about who was that? Felipe Luis. Did he play for Bayern?
I think he played for Bayern.
You guys
Actually,
gonna
that
go
our
with
guess?
I actually don't know. That was a
Felipe
good pick.
Luis. I was like,
think
dude,
he
there's a left
did.
back. There's an Atletico
Yeah.
left back that I'm thinking of.
I think he did.
Felipe
you gotta put it up.
Luis.
You gotta put it up. I think
Here,
he did.
Haley's back. We already did our Aston Villa one.
Yeah.
I forgot. We were saving that one for her.
You
He's a
guys wanna
Brazilian,
try
That's what I was thinking of.
Felipe Luis has to be it. I just don't
Oh.
think he played at Bayern. Should we do it? We're running out of time. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey,
Fingers
if we,
crossed.
at the end of the day, if we get 8 out of 9 correct, I will take that. How do you spell his name?
It's I think it's with an I. F-I-L.
Felipe. Can't type. Luis. There we
Oh
go.
boy.
Okay.
Here we go.
Any other?
Hey, we got an even 400 though. I'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kinda
I'm
nice.
looking it up now.
So
I'm
who's
curious.
who's in there?
Lucas Hernandez. That's the
Oh
one we
my
could have got.
God.
Lucas
He
Hernandez.
played for.
He played for
He
for-
Bayern.
So
For
too.
Madrid. I did
He
not
played
know
for
that.
Madrid before going to
Mandzukic. Oh, that's a good one.
Mandzukic would have been a great
a good
pull.
one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Didn't have that one.
I didn't have that one in the bank.
Yeah, Hernandez would have been tough. I mean, he's still playing, so that's probably the one we would have guessed. And Mandzukic only played 1 season at Atletico.
I had no idea he played for.
Mario Mandzukic, what a pull,
That's
man!
a crazy pull.
Remember
Played
that
for
goal?
Juve too.
That goal in the Champions League final for Juve, even though they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Woo!
What those
That was
Villa,
such
Villa
an amazing
keepers? Who
final,
we have
too.
done for an Aston Villa keeper?
There's only 5.
5 of all time.
Oh, keeper. Sorry, I clicked
Keeper,
on
keeper,
Bayern.
keeper.
Oh.
Oh, it doesn't let me click on.
Around 34.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's weird.
there's too many.
Yeah. Here are the most popular picks.
Oblak, Courtois, Ronaldo. That's
Yeah.
funny. Griezmann, yeah.
So we only had
Toni
2,
Kroos is a good
3.
one.
A third of our picks were the most popular. No,
Okay.
4. So
Good stuff.
not great,
I
not
like
bad.
it.
Yeah.
Good stuff, guys.
I'll take that. Our best score to date with a 7.2.
Good way to finish.
Oh,
the season.
today's that's average. Okay, I see. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. 5-a-side showdown. Did we calculate our scores? You know what? I don't think Keylor Navas played.
I was gonna say my Danish player, Fotmob, does not record the Danish Cup scores, but he did record an assist in that game.
Okay, should we tally the scores? Because
So,
I know all 5 of my
I'm pretty
players
sure
played.
he would have had at least like a 7.3 in that game. So maybe I'll just chalk it up to that.
Let's see.
See, I'm confused because it says that Keylor Navas' last game was against Huracan like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And then it says their last game, Hoyos started at goal. But it says he's had an ACL injury since November. So did Navas play and they just didn't record his stats because everyone else has stats? Or they put Lucas Hoyos out there on a torn ACL. I'm confused. Either way, I don't think I have a score for my boy.
Well, where were we at with scores going into this day?
Going into today, before we calculated
Put up a
our
7.6.
weekly, because you had a player yesterday, right? Didn't you
I
have
did, yes.
you had Poro?
I had Odogi.
Oh, you had Udogi. Oh, you picked the wrong fullback.
I know. He still put up a 7.
What a hit! I know he was crossing it, but what a hit from Pedro Poro.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Beautiful from him.
My mind
Alright.
is blanking. Going into this week, we did not calculate this week's scores just because some of them were up in the air. Diego's at 258. I'm at 255. Desi 244. JD 231. We still have to count in last week's.
8.8.
Right, this previous week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this
Already
will be
have
our
my
last
score.
week.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our last lineup, right? And then next week, there won't be a show, but we'll announce the winner.
Oh, so
Yeah.
we still have players for this week.
Yeah. We.
Oh, boy.
Oh, do we not? You guys didn't pick players?
I didn't.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. Then don't worry about it.
This will be the last. We'll calculate the scores, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Okay. So then, we'll count our scores.
Last week, my players got a 36.9 combined,
Dang.
which was
36.9.
yeah. Really good performances from Alyssa Thompson and Amir Radmani for Napoli. He's been on fire. So
All right. JD is at 268.3. Who's up next?
My boys put up a 38 last week with a
Dang.
standout performance from, who you guessed it, Lamine Yamal with an 8.8
yeah,
in a loss to
Can you
Which is a
can
lot.
you repeat it?
38 flat.
38 flat.
I think that puts me in the running
yeah.
for,
Two-
a,
title
for a
race.
top 2 spot. here.
282.6
Title race.
for you. All right. Do you want to go first?
Sure. In total, I got a 32.3. I think that's probably my lowest score yet, too. My
That's
boys-
gonna make it pretty tough.
Yeah,
in the top
that's
spot.
that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan Pickford completely disappointed me, man. Conceding 2 goals versus freaking Ipswich of all teams. He got a
Rough day.
5.9 in that game. So,
Rough day for Jordan.
yeah, not my best lineup. I recognized that before I even announced it last week.
And you were leading the league, right?
Yeah,
Most
He
of
was
the
in the
way.
top spot the
I don't
whole
know.
way.
I don't know if I still am after this one, but
Might have fumbled in the last week.
You are at 290.6.
Ooh.
So you're ahead of Desi by exactly 8.
Yeah, I'm
And
still
I just
behind.
need to do mine. So I was at 255. I swear if I lose because Keylor Navas doesn't have a score, I'm going to be so mad. All right. I did this the other day, and then I lost the sheet that I wrote it down on. Vinny did all right. He got a 7.7. We'll take those. Javi Simmons did good. He had 2 assists. 8.3. I'm so going to lose because of Keylor Navas.
Keylor Navas.
I'm already doing the mental math, and it's not going to add up.
Cheeky little Keylor.
8.1 for Zakaria. Is it Zakaria or Zachariah?
I think it's Zachariah.
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 Good
Zachariah.
name. An 8 for Ampadu.
Oof.
So I had a good score. See, without Keylor Navas, I have a 32.1.
That doesn't take top spot.
That's not the top spot.
287.
Oh.
I lost because of Keylor Navas.
Yeah.
If Keylor Navas put up a 4, I would have won.
Wow.
Or you picked literally any other
Any
player
other
Anyone
goalie.
else, yeah.
who played
So
anywhere.
3 points
Well,
behind
that's
me
what
then.
I'm confused. I need to find out if he played or not because it says that the guy who played on a torn ACL.
Well,
So-
see if Navas is injured. See what's up with him.
Here, we're gonna have all 8 eyeballs on this.
Yeah, his last game was against Twitter Khan.
Keylor Navas,
Well, what game did he play in?
Huracan, right?
Oh,
It says his last game was Huracan, and that was going into
April 29th.
us making the lineups.
Yeah.
So then you go to Newell's Old Boys, and you go to their fixtures. Their most recent game, they lost to Racing Club, and it has Hoyos in at the line.
But he
But
doesn't have a score.
he's the only one without a score.
That is
And
so
then if you
weird.
click on him, cruciate ligament injury, expected return August 2025. So I don't
But-
know who
well,
played
Wait,
goalie in this
check
game.
his last game when he played last.
Like maybe he got
November.
injured in that game.
No, it says his last game was in November.
So then
Oh,
why
that
would
is
he?
so weird.
Why would he be playing?
Look up Keylor Navas specifically. See if he actually did play.
Yeah, look up like the stats of the game
Yeah.
on.
Like the game?
Yeah.
Or just look up Keylor Navas?
Look up Keylor Navas to see if he was in the lineup.
No, he wasn't.
Or maybe football made a mistake.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking FOTMOB made a mistake.
Everyone else is listening to chicken.
We're going to get to the bottom of this.
We're gonna
See-
figure this out
Yeah,
to see if
footy
Zach
mystery
Let's
took
see
the,
if he
going
was on.
took the W here.
Was he on the
Yeah,
bench?
the Wi-Fi is
I don't even see him on the bench.
bugging.
Really?
And they don't even have him listed as an injured
Injured.
player.
That is so strange.
So maybe he's just not on the team.
I'm so
Maybe he got
bamboozled.
traded.
Or maybe he got
or
dumped from this
transferred.
game. Maybe he was not available for this game.
I'm so confused. Go back to here.
Oh, see, Google has Navas in the lineup.
Really?
What?
Oh,
So it's a
wow.
FOTMOB thing.
So they messed up.
But
So
there's no rating on Google though, right?
There is. They have him as the player of the match.
No
Oh,
way.
what?
What?
Wait, but they lost 1-0.
Wait, okay, we can look up Sofa Score. I didn't even think about that. We can go to Sofa Score.
It's user rating, so people might have inflated the Keylor Navas.
Oh, it's a user.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
Let's
boy.
see. So he was in the lineup. He had to be.
Right.
So then why?
Where's matches?
Right there.
Oh, right here.
Yeah,
6.8. You got a 6.8.
Okay, so but is that?
Yeah, he did play.
FOTMOB just
FOTMOB fumbled.
fumbled that badly.
FOTMOB fumbled.
Everybody else has Navas in the lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Keylor Navas played. He got a 6.8. Wasn't that great? He played all 90 minutes. He had 2 saves.
The player of the match from the fans.
Yeah, what? How does that?
The fans were like, "No, we're gonna make this guy the GOAT." Well, I mean, that's your score then, right, Zach?
So 6.8.
Wow.
That brings me to a 38.9.
Wow.
Wow.
On the final day.
On the final day, I won by 3.
Wow.
Hey, that was a good competition.
GG.
Boys, we'll have to do that again
Well done.
in the next semester. Add some fun little rules and games. I think there's a lot of potential with this segment.
Indeed.
Thank you for all of you listeners tuning in across the year, for listening to us ramble about our favorite sport and our favorite teams and our favorite players and storylines. It's been fun. But that'll do it for Footy Fridays in the spring of 2025 on the 22 West Sports Block. We will be back in the fall for some more shows, more segments, more games, more drama coming your way. Same place, hopefully same time, but you're going to find us on 22 West Radio. Go follow Footy Fridays on Instagram and check us out on Spotify. Any last words, fellas?
Well, thank you very much for listening.
Come on, you Spurs.
Go Tottenham. Go Spurs. Take down those Red Devils.
Yeah.
Forza Inter.
JD, anything?
I had a good season. I'm happy.
Let's go. Rabbit hole football.
Just right off into the sunset.
Right off on the sunset.
There
I
you
like
go.
it.
Great
All right,
season,
guys.
boys.
Have a good Footy Friday.
This is 22 West Radio, streaming at